what the hell is this? This is disgraceful. They had 6 years to work on it, and this is what we got. Well, that's not really the case, since people just went out of their way and just assumed that One Punch Man Season 3 had 6 years to get animated. Well, that is where most people get the misinformation. Hey guys, and welcome back to another brand new One Punch Man video. My last video was pretty hot, I would say. Tons of people were there for debates. So let's talk about the truth behind One Punch Man Season 3, because this is something that I would like to dive deeper in this video, because I didn't get much to talk about in my last video, because I haven't made much more research on that particular thing yet. So yes, in today's video, we'll dive deep into what really went down behind the scenes, why things turned out the way they did, and why it's pretty unfair to simply say JC stuff ruined One Punch Man again. Because once you actually look at the full timeline, how the anime production system actually works, you will start to realize that it is not that simple. Again, this video isn't about defending anyone blindly, it's about giving the full context, because misinformation spreads fast. But at the same time, before anything, I just want to make it clear I'm not an industry insider, nor do I have any direct experience working behind the scenes in anime production. Everything I talk about in this video is based on publicly available information, official statements, and insights shared by people who actually work within the industry. So while I always try my best to stay accurate and fair, there's a chance of the details I mentioned might not be fully correct or might change over time as more information comes out. My main goal here is just to give a clear understanding of how things work and not to spread misinformation or pretend to know it all. So with that being said, let's get straight into the actual topic of today's video. The production of One Punch Man Season 3. Since people has been going crazy about what the actual production actually looks like behind the scene and how long they've been going for and all that, again, I can't give an actual concrete proof of it, but I'm going to be making my own educated guess on this instead of saying they had 6 years since Season 2 ended. But everyone, that doesn't mean JC Stuff was animating One Punch Man that entire time. Big shout out to Probably Pretentious for bringing up this topic in his video. It's really an eye-opener, so please do check the video out. So yes everyone, let's clear this up once and for all. The 6 years myth. Yes, Season 2 ended years ago, but that doesn't mean the production on Season 3 started right after. Studios don't just work on one project forever. Unless you are the most prioritized anime like Demon Slayer, of course Ufotable will be working on it forever. But in this case, it's JC Stuff. It's One Punch Man. They move from anime to anime based on the schedules and decisions of the production committees. So when people say they had 6 years to make it, that's just not how anime production works, and it's not that hard to actually look at it in a point of view of, well, they have other anime to work on, so that basically means they don't have 6 years to make it. So if you see this type of comments showed up, well, you just paste this video and let them know that they didn't actually take 6 years to make it. You just waited for 6 years for this anime to come out. So is it court? When did they actually start the production? Well, many fans point to the key visual of Saitama and Garo, which was illustrated by Chikashi Kubota, who is the character designer of One Punch Man. This was released back in 2022 and assumed that is when work began. And this is where people actually tend to misunderstand. When the One Punch Man Season 3 announcement first dropped back in 2022, the Japanese teaser said this, which translates more accurately to production decided and new teaser visual revealed. The keyword there is seisaku shido, which doesn't mean full production is underway. It means that the production has been greenlit, or pretty much production decided, not that the team immediately began animating or working in full swing. So while fans assume production had been ongoing for years, in reality the actual animation phase or the production as a whole likely didn't start until much later. So why did they announce it then? Well, as you guys know, Season 2 ended in 2019. They should know that the hype should still be there. So in terms of marketing move, they just pull out a, okay, there will be a Season 3 of One Punch Man, but we're not going to work on it yet. I mean, like, they didn't say that, but it should be clear that it is only an announcement for the sake of promotion. Okay, then what about the special announcement PV that dropped in February 2024? Yes, that one that showed Garo fighting and it looked incredible. Surely that means production started, am I right? Well, not really. That PV was pre-animated by Kenichiro Aoki. The keyword there is pre-animated, meaning it was solely made for promotional use, but at the same time, it can be reused in the actual episode itself. But at the same time, it wasn't made during an actual episode production. Pre-animated trailers are usually done far in advance, sometimes even before a studio finishes setting up the project. So even by February 2024, One Punch Man Season 3 wasn't actually in full production yet. Oh my goodness, so when did they actually start the production? Well, this is where it actually finally gets a bit interesting. So when the first Season 3 PV, well, the actual thing was titled PV1, dropped on March 7, 2025, people thought, okay, now it's the real thing. Productions is pretty much underway, right? But guess what? That trailer was also pre-animated, and this time by Kazunori Ozawa, who key animated the entire PV. Again, that basically means it was worked on far in advance before the production even starts. But at the same time, it can be reused in the actual episode itself, and it has been proven to be true because most of the stuff in the actual PV was reused in the actual first episode itself, with some tweaks in terms of compositing and also AD correction. But then came something that finally gave us a real clue, and it is the interview. So yes everyone, in an interview, Atsushi Fujishiro, the animation producer of One Punch Man Season 2 and 3, gave a subtle but revealing update. So here's what he said. Although it's still a little ways off, we are steadily moving forward with preparations for One Punch Man Season 3. The content is 180 degrees different April episode, which I'm pretty sure is the kind of boy-girl relationship survives anime that was airing in April. But it's a popular title and expectations are high, so we'll do our best not to disappoint. Most people only see we will do our best not to disappoint. But people usually skip the keyword because this is the actual keyword. Moving forward with preparations. That phrase indicates pre-production and not full production. So this pretty much says that during this interview, they were still in pre-production phase. But when did this interview actually take place? Sure, there is an actual date that was posted in this actual interview, but in the same interview page, another producer, Kaoru Suzuki, producer of Danmachi Season 5, mentioned that he was writing his comment just before the final episode of Danmachi Season 5. And if you look that up, since there were some delays for the last 4 episodes of Danmachi, the final episode of Danmachi actually aired March 5th, 2025. That means the interview took place around March 2025, meaning by then, One Punch Man Season 3 was still in pre-production in March 2025. So if we take that timeline, that basically means the actual production didn't even start until around March or April 2025. And since the anime airs in fall 2025, to be more specific, October 2025, that gives them roughly 6 to 7 months of real production time. Yes, 6, 7, whatever, which frankly is insanely short for a show of this scale, and also pretty much the same production time that was taken during Season 2 of One Punch Man. And at the same time, that is exactly why you're seeing so little promotional footage, because they literally didn't have any time to produce that much yet at that time. So if anyone's wondering why there's pre-animated trailer instead of actual episode cuts, that's exactly why. So yes everyone, they pretty much had somewhere around 7 months to work on this anime, which again is insane by the way. So yes everyone, when everyone says they are in a scuffed production, they are struggling behind the scene, just imagine only having 7 months and you're constantly fighting the clocks to animate this show. But again, people don't really care about that. Now the big question is, why wait until 2025 to start? So if they've already had the rights since 2022 and they have announced that there will be Season 3 of One Punch Man, why not start earlier? The simple answer would be, they were busy. Atsushi Fujishiro's production line has been loaded with projects from 2022 to 2025, and here are the works that he has worked on ever since the announcement of One Punch Man Season 3. The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest and Requiem of the Rose King both was released in 2022, while in 2023 there were 3 other anime, and that is In Another World with My Smartphone Season 2, Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts, Reign of the 7 Spellblades, which is Nanatsuma, while they have 5 different anime under Fujishiro's production line line that was released in 2024, and those are Chilling in Another World with level 2 cheat powers, 2.5 dimensional seduction, The Do-Over Damsel Conquers the Dragon Emperor, and also Maggie Lumiere, Magicals Girls Inc., and also Demon Lord 2099. And just recently, spring 2025, also under the same Fujishiro's production line, and A Boy-Girl Relationship Survive was also released under the same production line as One Punch Man. That is over than 10 anime projects before season 3 even aired. So obviously, there was no way One Punch Man could have been in production all that time and since 2022 or even 2019. And that is also why it's important to understand that production isn't about how long fans have already waited. It's about how long the studio actually had time to work on it. So yes everyone, those are basically it. This video is supposed to be a bit longer. It probably reaches like 18 minutes. So I decided to make it a 2-part video because this part of video has already reached like 10 minutes. So I decided to make it like 2 separate videos because I don't have the time to actually edit the rest of it. So the rest of the video, the part 2 of the video, which is me talking about who's really at fault and also the anime industry in general, will be uploaded tomorrow. So there's that. Again, this video is mostly informative and also try to clear up the misinformation that people has been spreading. So yeah, so yes everyone, those are basically it. Part 2 of this video will be coming out tomorrow. And thank you very much for watching this video. If you actually watch until the end, comment down Fubuki just so I know you made it this far. Thank you very much for watching this video and I'll see you in the next One Punch Man video. Goodbye.
悟